Welcome back to Tech Fix or Fail. I'm actually working on my boat today. It's July 4th, 2026, and it's raining out, so I figured today would be a good day to rebuild the carburetors on the boat. It's a 1994, 95, I think it's 1995, sorry. We got these 6 carburetors, 3 on this side, 3 on this side that we need to take apart. I went ahead and started taking apart and then realized, you know what, I was looking for videos on this, not many videos about it, so I figured I'd make a quick one, kind of help people that might be looking how to rebuild one of these carburetors. I'll just show how to rebuild one, and the other 5 are the exact same way. If you look, right here's your carburetors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all back here. They are all individual. You basically just take off the front ring. I've already unscrewed these. Like I said, I was going to start this and then realized maybe somebody would need help doing it. But take off these 4 bolts. 1, 2, pretty long bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Take all those off, and then there's a little screw. It's already halfway out. I've already taken that off. That little screw right there actually needs to come out too. It was in there pretty tight. Okay, once again, the screw we're looking at is this one right here. Ooh, hear that thunder. Screws right here that we're looking at. Take that one out, and once you pull that, and car high. And that's your whole carburetor assembly right there. So then we're going to take that apart and rebuild that whole thing and put it back. Okay, now I went ahead and put down a few paper towels here just because this is the carburetor, so this float down here is full of gas, and there's the gas coming out. So you're going to make a mess when you do this. So just empty out all the gas, lap it up, keep it clean. So I'm probably going to speed through this real quick, fast forward through the video, so probably not a lot of talking in it. I'm just kind of doing this so people understand how to do it. This one right here actually had a little nick in it when I took it off, so when somebody put that in, they nicked it. So that could be part of my problem. The reason why I'm doing this is because it's been 10 years. I talked to the guy that owned this boat. It's been 10 years since he redid it. These right here look like they've been stripped out. It's been 10 years since he rebuilt the carburetors, and it sat for 9. And I ran it this past year, and it seemed to work just fine. But then after a month or so, it kept on dying more and more and more and more. And you have to keep your foot on the throttle in order to get it to stay running. So I figured it's time to rebuild the carburetors, because old gas that was in it for 9 years kind of ran it out. But yeah, it's just time. So we're going to give this a shot and see if it works, and we'll see how it goes. Unfortunately, that's about as close as I'm going to be able to get it, so hopefully you can see everything in it. I'll kind of try to describe some parts. As I'm undoing screws, I'll just fast forward it, and then as I come across certain parts, I'll let you know. Now, I did buy the carburetor rebuild kit on Amazon. Comes in a box like this. It's got all 6 parts for the carburetors, each one individual. So that makes it nice and handy. You don't need to guess which parts you need for which one. So they're all right here in individual packets. It's about 30 bucks. About 30 US dollars in order to rebuild these. Now, I'm not doing anything special. This is not going in ocean water. It's not salty water whatsoever. We're in the middle of the country, and we just use it on local lakes. So I don't need to put any kind of special stuff in it, you know, special sealers or anything else like that to keep corrosion, stuff like that out of it. Plus, the parts are mainly plastic anyway, so there's not really a whole lot that's going to corrode. There's all your little rings, your floats, your float, the little needle for the float, all that inside here. And then you got to figure out which ring that you have. It looks like this one goes for ours, because apparently this is for multiple different ones. So that ring's going to go on there, and then the different side pads, which one do you have that lines up with which one on the side here. It looks like that's gonna, nope, that one's not it. So it's probably going to be this one here is going to be our pad for there. So this kit's actually for different years and different models. Like I said, this is a 95. So it's got not too bad. Should be pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Okay, now that right there is just a screw to hold this pin in. And then if you look, if you can see right here, there's a little hook. And that hook is actually going to, whoops, that hook is going to this, whoops, dang it. Going to that right there. And it goes in there to plug that in. So it literally just fits on there and just hangs. It even slides around. So it literally just hangs. So it hangs upside down. Straight off of it just like that. So if you can see that, and that's supposed to line up right there in that little hole. So we're going to take that out because that whole thing's being replaced. It feels more like foam than it is plastic. This right here is a new one's plastic one for sure. You can actually, you can see the difference. Wow. And you can see the difference in the colors in the two rods too. So there's a little bit of difference over the years. It's been in there for a while. Now we're going to remove this gasket. Yes, we have a new gasket. Right here's the new gasket for it. And then we're going to remove this one. So we have a new gasket for it right here. And then that right there is going to be removed. We've got another one right there. So, excellent. I'll get some carburetor cleaner and I'm going to clean that up, spray it off really good, get it all cleaned up, and then put it all back together. So I'm just going to and then we'll start to put the whole thing back together. Whenever you're doing this float, you got to do it upside down. So the thick part actually goes in the bowl, and right now we're doing everything upside down, so it would be in the bowl part. So this groove right here tells you which side it goes. That should be pointing up while you're putting this in place. This is a little intricate. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to take off the black gloves because that's not helping the situation. Okay, got a little hook on here that clicks into. Clicks in there so it'll hold on its own. So hopefully you can see that. And then that part slides right here in the float and it just hangs. There's nothing to do, it'll just hang there. I'm holding on to it so it doesn't go anywhere, but there's a little dot in the middle, kind of shows you right where it's supposed to go. So that middle part And then you try to get it nicely lined up as much as you can. That float's going to go right in there. This pin's got to go right in that little seat. And we have to screw the pin back down in place. So now when it needs gas, the float lowers when the gas goes low and raises when it gets high. I don't know if you can see how that's moving, but if you look right in there, you'll see it move up and down right there. So when it fills up, it pushes in like this, because remember, this is sitting like this. When it fills up, it pushes in. As it gets lower in gas, that opens up, and so it floods more gas in. That one kind of took me by surprise, because right there there's a plastic piece that I didn't even think about. So that simply goes on there just like that. Goes on there just like that. And then that's going to screw back in. Let's try that again. It might work better this time. Now let's put our pin back in, our float, it goes back in there, fold one. So we're going to have to bend it just a hair to make it sit level. Since I put that piece back on, she's not sitting level. Put the bowl back on. Make sure that when you get these, it's going to be raised up like that. Press down and push it where it bends it a little bit. You're going to have a little bend right there in your float, because you want your float to be pretty much level. So if you can level out that float, let's see if you can see it there. Make it level. So when the fuel gets low in the bowl, it's going to go down, and then when it fills back up, it's going to be level. So there you go. Let me just get these back up. Okay, the other thing I probably need to show you is there's an O-ring that comes in the pack that actually goes right here. Okay, so no matter what I do, this gasket keeps on popping up. I've got it down everywhere except for this little corner. And when I push that little corner down, it pops up someplace else. Okay, I finally got the gasket to hold. And to do it, I put in half of it, and I took a putty knife, a 3-inch putty knife, 4-inch putty knife, stuck it on half of it, and then slowly worked the rest of it in the rest of the way around. And as I worked it a little bit more, I scooted over a little bit more until I finally got the whole thing to hold. It just came up on this side. Okay, now then, I don't know, about 10-15 minutes later, finally got that to lay in there properly. Didn't need any kind of sealant or anything. So that's in and in place. So we're going to stick that back on the boat. But I also have this little rubber piece that I forgot to put on. And I'll show you in a second where that goes. There, that one's right there. The carburetor's off. So it's on the side of the metal housing. You just have to undo. You just have to undo the 2 screws, take out that red rubber part, and we'll put in the black one. So give me a second, we'll get it set up. Okay, sometimes setting stuff up on a boat to film is not the easiest thing to do. Okay, our gasket's on. As long as it's on, we are going to keep an eye on it. Put that in. And then let's get our screws. Put those in. Screw we talked about earlier that goes up right here, right back there, which is a really hard spot to see, I know. It's right underneath that top bolt. And there's a little ring that goes right there for the air. So now, first one's done, on to the next one, and then the next one, and then we got those to go. So that's how you do the first one. Just repeat the process on the next 5, and when it's all done, I'll fire it up and let's see what it does. If I run into any major problems anywhere, I'll go ahead and record it, but I don't foresee any. But there could be some other spots a little bit more difficult. When I get to them, I'll record as necessary. Okay, so now on the first side, I've got the first 3 done. I'm going to start on these 3 carburetors on this side. Now the difference with this side is up top we've got this wire harness here. And we're going to have to take that off, undo a couple screws, take that off and move it out of the way, and maybe some of those hoses. But it shouldn't be too bad a deal. But we got these 3 left to go. Okay, I got these. Oops, put a light on. Okay, it was just simple 2 screws holding that on, and those 2 top holes just for the relays. Okay, so this side here just got way more difficult because these little square pieces that we put on the other side that were exposed are on this side this time. And to get that off, you have to take off all 3 of your carburetors, So I got them all sorted and separated. So I got all 3 carburetors taken off, and then there's 2 more screws down at the very bottom. So those 2 screws got to come out, and I don't have a lot of room to get those. Okay, here's the fun part. We finally got that disconnected. And we've got a gasket here. Now that little gasket does not come in the kit, so you got to be really careful with that. We're going to have to pull this over in order to get to these on the side here. All the way down. We could replace all 3 of them when we got it out. Okay, I did not have to disconnect the fuel line. The fuel line's still hooked up. So right there's the 1, 2, 3 that we have to replace. And then that gasket, I went ahead and took it off. That's what that gasket looks like. It's like giraffes with something over it. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and clean that up a little bit, and then I'll stick it back. It has a little channel on here that it goes in. Little channel for each one, so I'm going to have to put it back in there very carefully once I get these done and put back. Okay, so if you're very careful with a gasket, you can put it back in. Alright, I finally got the last one on. All the carburetors are rebuilt. Just put them all back on. Got this thing back in place. I did have to take this off. It's simple. You just line it back up and push it back in to click it back in place. The relays go back up on top. Took 2 screws out. The 2 screws there that go out, they simply screw right back in here. Put the relay back in place. I'll get that back in there, and then we'll get this fired up and see how it runs. Okay, 2 screws are back in place that hold up the relays. It's one right here, one back over here. I had to remove that to get that other screw in. And it's simple as, let's see if I can get a little bit of light on there. A little more time, I thought, and push it in place and lock it. So that should fix everything. We're hoping we're gonna get this thing fired up and see how it works. That's leaking. And that's something I can address later. I have another video, but I would say this is definitely a fix. We got it up and working. Before it wouldn't idle at all.